Sorry for the delay. We're trying to get the Steadicam going, and we've got the Steadicam. We haven't got it going. It looks like it just needs a little bit more fiddling to actually get it up and running. But that should make outdoor videos a bit more palatable and less wobbly. So you're going to have to ask me questions, because quite frankly this is going to be exceptionally boring and exceptionally fast unless you ask me questions. I don't have the mail. I think starting on Monday we're hoping to get back onto a far more regular and normal situation. So it's been pretty chaotic for the last while, with mail going all over the place, different people bringing it in and it going to different spots. So that's something that we were hoping will all come back together, and we'll have a dedicated space, which is great. Carlene is doing just fine. Where are you going with that?
I will do the camera.
Okay.
Hold on. There you are.
It's terrible when people fiddle with your things. So what we're doing is we're just getting ourselves sort of like moved in, finding different spots, and it's one of these really silly situations where you've got different spots for different things, and it's just taking a little while to establish where we're at. No, you can't see a video of my house because it's in an absolute mess. Thank you. You can come when it's tidy. It's like having visitors, and you want it to look.
You can show them Noodles.
No.
He's on the floor there.
Yeah, they'll be just fine. Don't be fiddling. So, let's have a look, you see. So Carlina's fine. When Janine picked her up, she was still coming out from the effects of her anaesthetic, and I think she was probably quite pleased to get back to where she was going. So she'll just have a nice rest to recover, and that, as far as we're aware, all went very well. Yeah, the kennels were removed from inside the laundry building, and the kennels in the laundry building are quite interesting because they're actually solid walled. They have a dog door at the end to go out into the run, and they took the chain link doors off, so we'll need to find more chain link doors to replace those, and then they'll be up and running and they'll be secure. So that will be super, and it just means, you know, that it's good practice. There's so many dogs on site, and there's so many dogs that we still keep in contact with, and who are, you know, prior service dogs. And if people came to stay, or they need somewhere for their dog to go, there will be that space there. So it will be up and operational, and that's a good practice. And I think it's a good practice, particularly for when we've noticed what's happened when Carlene's dogs, who are actually part of Goldie's farm, Carlene's dogs that normally stay with her, you know, it's quite the undertaking to make sure that everybody's well accommodated. So I'll have to speak up then if the volume is low. No, and you know, I think that there's lots of things that we're going to have to change. There's I don't know if anybody who's been to the farm remembers there was a big round granite sign that said service dog established whichever year it was established, and it's still in the driveway. But what we noticed was that on the reverse of it, it's exactly the same granite, and if we lift it off and flip it, it can be repurposed for Goldie's farm. So at some point we're going to do that. We've got so much to do that by the time we work out where we want to put signs up and banners, etc., it will probably be quite a bit down the line, but we are getting there. There's a lot of basics that need done, and we're very fortunate in that people are coming to help us with the basics. So that's great. But we're trying not to run before we can walk, which is always the temptation. So we're going to take it as it comes and as carefully as possible.
Somebody was saying they thought the sign said Crazy Acres. I think it does say Crazy Acres, but I think it says Service Dog Project at Crazy Acres.
It's got the old service dog sign up, and you know, while that's still part of our history, there's nothing more confusing than people coming up the driveway and wondering where they are. And that was actually when we first started having visitors, and the two organisations were on the one site. They were like, am I at the right place? And also we used to find people wandering, and they'd be like, I'm looking for, and I'm like, that's service dog. I'll take you down. So I think we just need to be, you know, clarity. It's not a bad thing. So we'll work out how to do that. There is an ETA for Caroline to come home, and it's roughly a week after recovery. And then, but we obviously have to have the home ready. So we're really working and moving towards that. I don't know anything about a diet for following her kidney stone surgery. I also don't know whether or not Caroline could be trusted to follow a diet. The horse is not quite right. We're not 100% sure. It's Irie. She's standing in a corner in the paddock, so she's looking a bit off. But I happened to notice that Chester was running around like a great big running around horse thingy. And also she's just had her feet done, and we could only do her front feet because she was very keen not to have anybody touching her feet. So she was moving in a way that I don't think I've ever seen that horse move. So I'm wondering if she's maybe feeling very sore after jumping in the air and behaving in a way that wasn't very becoming of the young lady. So yes, the lady who's going to do the mural, she will definitely be able to do things like that, include the rabbits, etc. And she's a super artist, so that's wonderful. Does the new camera have built-in sound, Nick?
Well, this isn't a camera. It's a device for just holding the phone and keeping it steady while you're moving so that it doesn't judder around. So it's really more for when you're filming stuff out in action than sitting still. But it does have this nice little stand on it that you can put it on to use when you're doing MailChat. But we're just a bit late in setting it up, so we couldn't get it set up before the call. But I think it just uses all the functionality of the phone, and I think any cameras will be getting put in the barns, etc. We'll make sure there's proper sound set up on those.
Mm-hmm. But I will say that the sound, it's something that we would probably put on more towards night time, because I think what we must also remember is that some of our ladies who come down here and our gentlemen who come down here to care for the animals, and they like to have a conversation about what's going on in life as well. So we don't want to intrude into their private conversations. So I think it would be nice to be able to have sound on in the arena, particularly when Wallace is working or we're working with some of the other animals. And it would also be really lovely to be able to turn the cameras back on at night time for when the animals are in the barn. So that would be super. And we'll have to work out. I don't think we'd ever planned to have cameras in the what used to be the ICU building, because we're hoping to be able to utilise whatever. Remember the camera that you set up before?
Mm-hmm.
And see if we can get that moving and used in a more straightforward fashion.
Which one? The
one that was on the tripod. Remember?
Yeah, the one you're talking about for doing mail call.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just need to get in a better cadence with that. There was just issues with everybody knowing how to turn it on and making sure it was connected, and we need something that's kind of permanently connected up, and somebody just needs to push the button and they go live kind of thing, because
it was quite the procedure.
Yeah, it's just people forget and they do the wrong thing, and so do I. I mean, I went down to Carlene's to do a mail call and ended up posting it on the wrong Facebook, and so there's some technical parts to it that we just need to take into account. But it would be good just to have an area set up where we could all just jump in and sit and do it at like a studio, and it was all ready to go.
Yeah. This has just sent me a thing, and it said the Tilstones, the home hub is not responding. Does that mean anything?
No idea.
Okay, that's fine. So the supposed pregnant horse is not pregnant. I'm convinced of it. If that horse throws a foal, it will be a blinking miracle. So I don't think she's pregnant. And in fact, I happen to have a very special young lady coming to see her tomorrow, and that very special young lady is the person who named Wilbur. So that's exciting. The farm buildings will all be painted, and the reason they're going to be painted is twofold. Firstly, there's a tremendous amount of repair needed to the outside of all of the buildings. There's damage to the texture 111, there's damage on the inside, so it just all has to be protected, and the best way to protect it is to replace it and then paint it so that there's a watertight surface on it. And secondly, one of the things that we discussed when we were working with the Veterans Service Officer and other people who work in with neurodivergent people, etc., is that one of the things that is very jarring to somebody who either has PTSD or a neurodivergent issue is all the different colours. It can be quite a disturbing, believe it or not, process. So we're trying to unify the farm and get it into a calm offering and an environment that people are comfortable to come and experience. So that's the true prong attack on that. Thank you. Yes, I've got some people in line for setting up a dog agility course, and I would also like to set up a donkey agility course. I'm going to keep away from the people agility course because that sounds like far too much for me. I'm actually not whispering, I'm actually speaking at quite a loud volume. And so am I whispering?
No.
So I'm not sure why I'm not picking up, because Nick is actually extremely close to me. My daughter's room is still in progress because it has been exceptionally busy and everybody's been busy doing lots of things. Yes, so we're en route to do that, but my bronchitis is much better, thank you very much. Yeah, so she's not going to be discharged today, no. She's got at least a week, if not more. I know, I'm aware that people have missed the donkey sounds. And I think that we would put it on at night time, but I think it is important, there's people, particularly if we're doing farm visits, and people come into the barns, etc., we have to be very careful. The cameras, you forget, are there after a period of time, and also you would forget to be turning on and turning off. So I think that what we would have to do with the barn in particular is probably have the cameras on a more set schedule for when they were turned on at night time. And I don't know if that's something that we would be able to do remotely. So that would be super. That's very, very kind of you. Yes, we are. We're going as fast as we can. But I think one of the things that we're very aware of is that sometimes when you go too fast, you miss the subtle nuances of what you should be doing and how you should be doing it. So we're trying to make sure that we do things properly. There's no point, and it's far too expensive to have to redo things. So we're trying to get it done right first time as best we possibly can. We're trying to do a lot of the work ourselves, and you've got to remember, we've only got 2 sets of hands, 2 sets of feet, and sometimes they get a wee bit tired. But we are getting there, and
it is only the 3rd or 4th of January, yeah.
It's only the 3rd or 4th of January, but yeah. It's just so exciting. Oh. Oh, thank you, Nancy. I shall go and look for those. It's there's so much to do, so little time. So I think we just have to acknowledge that we'll take the appropriate amount of time. We'll do it properly, and hopefully get it right first time. Then again, we have to also add in that it's not a case of that failure's not it's not welcome, but you know what? That's how we learn as well. We just keep going in the right direction, and we'll get there eventually. It might not be a straight road, but we'll get there. So that will be fun. And
I think you need to be more of a steady and slow tortoise than the fast brown fox in this one.
Yes, I think so.
Because I think a lot of the past was a lot of things over time have been done too quickly, and
well, I think sometimes there's been a need for things to be done quickly.
Yeah, sure, yeah, but we want to try and do things thoughtfully and the right way first time without having to redo it later down the line because we should have done it differently.
Yeah, so I think that's definitely what Janine is focusing on. And we're trying to get it all in place before Carleen comes home so that she can just come in and enjoy it. So that's that's important. Anyway, it's all good, and we have got Carleen's golf cart. We haven't actually pulled it up the hill. It's still sitting there without its battery charged. Yeah. It is, and it's actually, we're actually very fortunate in that we're getting to bring the farm back into its entirety and adapt it for the purposes that Goldie's is going to need it for, because it's not just an equine facility. There's the dogs, there's the rabbits, there's the goats. There's so many different aspects to it, and we also have to make sure that it's accessible and safe for any other people who are going to come in and share the farm with us. So there's let alone just parking, but there's so many bits and pieces that we have to be able to offer to people who have mobility issues. So lots to do and lots to Carleen will definitely need a speed governor when she gets her golf cart back. That's something she is notorious for. She doesn't corner slowly, I can tell you. So there's lots to do, but it's exciting, and we're all on the journey together because we're sharing it with you, so you can see that every step forward we make, and the ones that we make to the side and the ones that we make backwards. And the only people who are totally and utterly oblivious are the blinking animals. They're like, yeah, it's dinner time. They're not bothered about how they live, where their access is to outside, etc. They're just getting on with their own thing, and as long as their status quo is maintained, they're quite happy. So it's all good, and it's good to be looking forward, I think. So that's where we're at today. So I will keep you up to date with what we have happening tomorrow. I think Wallace is coming and Dana is coming, and they're going to be working on fencing, because as soon as we get the fencing started on what was the Donkey Hill and the flat field, it then means that we can start moving the goats out there. So that will be nice as well. We do have bunny names, and one is called Chewy and the other is called, can you remember?
Oh gosh, it's coming back to me. I'm drawing a blank. Sorry. I think it was a name from a movie or something like that.
It wasn't Thumper, was it?
No, it wasn't Thumper. It was
Ziggy.
Ziggy. That was it.
We hear that. Thank you, Nancy.
Ziggy Stardust.
Someday, I'm glad there's this aid memoir of people who remember. Oh dear.
Both commonly known as hello bunnies.
Hello bunnies, that's what we say.
Yeah, we just say hello bunnies because I'm not actually sure which one's Ziggy and which one's Chewy, because they both look exactly the same.
Say, good morning bunnies. And they come bounding down they're very sweet. We'll have to do a video of them soon as well. So that's easy for you to remember then, Nancy, since that's your dog's name. That's lucky. So that's us. Wallace and Dana tomorrow for more fencing. The gentleman will be finishing off the black fencing, and I think John and Leslie are coming back, and they've got something that they told me that they were going to do, and I can't for the life of me remember.
They were doing the work on Carlene's place today. Yeah?
Yes, I did. I showed everybody,
yeah.
And but they're coming back to do so. Oh, they're going to work in kennel 9 and 10. And try and get that ready for us to get set up. So that will be lovely. Just super. So if you've got any questions or any places that you want us to go on video, and maybe what you'd like us to do is before the sun goes down, if we can take you around and just show you any parts of progress that we've made that day. And maybe that's a nice video diary to do outside of MailChat. That might be something that would be quite appreciated. So we could think about doing that as well. So I hope everybody has a lovely weekend, and we will speak to you on Monday. Night.
Night. And it's night from Noodles. He's actually already asleep down there. He's very peaceful. Night, Noodles.